set out to get answers about an animal rescue organization in Cleveland County. The organization now faces more than a dozen violations of state law and the Animal Welfare Act after they didn't register the property they're keeping dozens of dogs at as an animal shelter with the state. The name of the organization is Clifford's Army Rescue Extravaganza. It's led by Cleveland County Commissioner Deborah Harding.
And WBTV's Claire Kopsky has been digging into this today, and she's breaking down what she's learned.
The organization is claiming that they didn't know that they needed to register the property that they are rescuing and adopting animals out of here in Cleveland County with the state. However, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services tells me today that since 1999, anyone who is housing more than 10 cats or dogs on their property is required to register with the state as an animal shelter. Today we made a visit to the property listed in a notice of warning and violation to the president of Clifford Army Rescue Extravaganza. After no one answered, we walked around the side of the house to hear barking from dozens of dogs. The owner of the property and vice president of the animal rescue greeted us at the fence line. So this is the shelter for Clifford's Army?
Yeah, no, we have another facility that we're going to be using that we are getting up and running. But this is like, I foster the dogs here, and we are turning it into a shelter for some of the dogs.
Turning it into a shelter after a notice of warning and violations from the North Carolina Department of Agriculture came on November 6th. The notice came in a letter detailing that the organization was notified back in February about the need to register as an animal shelter during a site visit. At the time, the property in question had 32 dogs at it. A month later, the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services made another visit to find 26 dogs. Then in May, another site visit revealed there were only 16 dogs. In September, the organization submitted an application to the state to register as a shelter, saying that 40 dogs would be the maximum capacity. However, less than a month later, during a planned site visit that the organization scheduled, inspectors arrived to find 45 animals on property and proceeded to receive 14 violations, including animal safety and sanitary concerns. Today, we got an update on the property in question. How many dogs are here right now?
We currently have 35. Is what our number is.
A number that's still over what the state allows for an unregistered shelter.
The issue is that we were never told that we couldn't have, I've got 18 acres, and I've got all the facility and ability to take care of them here, and this is all I do. We rescue, that's what we do. We get 10, 15 people asking us, can you take our dog?
Freeman also told me all the items on the state violation list have been fixed.
Everything's been finished. Everything's been completely finished. Since the notice, since, a lot of, like I said, a lot of the things on there didn't apply to us.
But when we asked if we could get a closer look.
Not at this moment, we'd have to wait until they're ready, because the dogs are barking, it does cost a lot of stress on them to walk around. But we are in the process of cleaning, and I'm doing my trash right now.
The North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services told me they are working with the organization and have not closed the matter as they work towards getting them into compliance with the Animal Welfare Act. Now, the letter from the state clearly outlines that immediate compliance is required, and that if the violations continue, that they could face up to $70,000 in civil penalties. We will, of course, continue to follow this story and bring you updates on this on air and online in Cleveland County. I'm Claire Kopsky, WBTV, on your side.